That was faster than I thought. Morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. Today's going to be a bit of a bitch session. What I didn't get to finish yesterday, and what's still coming out about the meeting last Friday from T. Rump and President Zelensky. I mean, it's just time that people start stepping up. And I think Europe has done that clearly. But well, I think we've got a lot of people here domestically in the United States who are willing to do so. Oh, I got something. Well, that kind of wrecked that, didn't it? Hold on a second. I got an overlay on? I had an overlay on. And I also had another overlay on with the camera. And so nice, clean swipe. I like that to reveal me didn't work because, anyway, it is 11:04 Eastern. I got to go to my thing. I love this thing. I'm going to share this. Look at this. This is how I tell the time during the show. Look at this thing. I love this site. Let's see. There. Bin. This is what I use. This thing's awesome. This is the website. World Time Buddy. And this is all the places we've got major stations following us in order of where they're at. Sydney, it is, well, let's say I got to do that. There we go. In Sydney, it is 3:05 a.m. All right, we're the nighttime guy there. And Melbourne, 12:05 Wednesday in Perth, 17. This is what I love about this thing too. It's AM, PM, where that market uses that type of format. Berlin uses military time. So it immediately puts it in that format for Berlin when we put that on. 17:05 in Berlin, 4:05 in London on the UG Media, 11:05 here in the East Coast. I don't know why it says Atlanta. I guess, well, Sportcat's up there. And, offices here in Tampa. 8:05 out in Vegas in the West Coast. Yeah, very cool thing. I love the thing. We'll use that in a second to go to some of the other stuff. But yeah, morning motivation. We're going to be flying solo like we do every Tuesday, but that's I'm going to show you how that's okay. How to end a country. We didn't finish that yesterday. And that is essentially what Trump is doing. And don't argue, because I'm going to show you that is what Trump is doing. And that takes us right into the next segment. Where is it? Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered the computer nerds to stand down when monitoring Russia. That's right. Probably the biggest threat in our history. We're just now flat out admitting we're their bitch. What else is that saying? Tell me what else that is saying. Because I don't have anything else for it. Let's do this. That's the too late for that one. It's the we'll get started shortly. But we are started. So are we? There we go. Oh. Are we Russia's bitch? Especially those of you elsewhere, not in the United States. Lars, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Let us know. Put it in the chat if that's all you got, or give us a call. Numbers on the screen. The other one, I'm starting to use the Google Voice That was kind of like the celebrity line. And I'm not at a level where we got celebrities calling yet. So I think we're gonna start using that here. Um, I gotta just do some editing here. It doesn't allow spaces, so you actually have to type spaces in to create space between your segments of something you want to post on your. There we go. Are we Russia's bitch? That's what we're going to be ranting about today. Call me at 1-888-88-YERGS, 844-GAY LGBT, or on Google Voice, 813-358-3836. And so that's up after that, that we've cut down. Now, the NSA is apparently not a part of that. Okay, good. But the rest of the Defense Department is no longer monitoring Russia from a computer intelligence perspective. Tell me how that is a good idea. Finally, Trump as a Russian agent. How this did not, and I don't like conspiracy theories, I like conspiracy facts. Here we need to cough up some cash for Ukraine. Yeah. Ken says, good morning. Good morning, buddy. And to answer my question, he says, we aren't Russia's bitch, but we know the people whom are. He's asking us, do we know? Well, I mean, that's essentially what today's rant is going to be about. And then here in the EU, we need to cough up some cash for Ukraine. So I'm wondering if it's finally becoming a time of more than that. How much Russia is not in good shape, despite what Donald Trump. Don't listen to Donald Trump. Just don't. Most Americans don't. Unfortunately, there's one other thing most Americans don't do. Let's vote. Or many, not most, but many. You don't have the boots on the ground, so you make out the big time. I get that. You contribute in how you can. I get that. But we could have done that a long time ago. We could have made this a damn video game. We could have had, quote unquote, boots on the ground without putting boots on the ground. That's where our military is at today. Think back to Desert Storm and Desert Shield. H. Norman Schwarzkopf made the famous, I don't know what to call it, made the famous, what was it, play-by-play with some of the bunker buster missiles that we had. And they were followed by the actual missile. So the first missile destroyed the entrance, the protective portion of the bunker. The next one destroyed the bunker. And of course, the people inside of it. Now, the bunker buster had cameras on it. So you're watching this thing fly through space. And it's getting closer to the target and closer to the target and closer to the target. And General H. Norman Schwarzkopf said, here we're going to knock and here we're going to enter. And I guess you saw the camera from the second missile, because it filmed, it sent video back to the headquarters of the bunker being destroyed by the first missile. And then all of a sudden, the screen just goes to snow because that camera was destroyed with the rest of the missile and the bunker and the people inside of it and so on. And he says, here we're going to knock and we're going to enter, and the screen goes to snow. not black, but it's like that static stuff, the black and white dots all over the place. So that's back in the day, if you remember. For those of you old enough to remember, we had Iraqis surrendering to camera crews. They weren't even military personnel, and their uniforms said so. But that's the strength we had. This early in the game, and 2 years into a war like this is not necessarily long. There's a fly. This early in the game, Putin is enlisting the help of North Korea and has had been talking to Iran. I know, Blake Fisher, if you're watching, you're not going to agree with that. But we have been in World War III. T. Rump on Friday said to President Zelensky, you're gambling with World War III. You're flirting with World War III, something like that. We've been, and he knows that. That's why he's blaming this on Ukraine. That's why Friday, in my humble opinion, and it's not like I've been right about other things. Oh, wait. In my humble opinion, Friday was a setup. So, what else do you say? We're in World War III, and we've been in a civil war since 2017. And if with the characteristics of what I'm saying consists of the Civil War, we've been in it longer than that. Some will argue, and I would say that's a fair argument. But that's kind of the thing about our country. Every 4 years, we're in a civil war. It's called an election. That's the point. That's exactly what an election that frequent is supposed to be. With so many branches of government. Not just a legislature, but also the executive being chosen more directly, not totally directly. And I'm for the Electoral College. Maybe that's the conservative side of me. But so many other countries who have elected governments and representative governments do not pick their chief executive. The party does that. The UK. The party and the legislature really is the one who picks the prime minister. It's kind of their version of the Electoral College. Let's go back to the comments, see who's here. Lars says, I talked about this with a buddy of his at Christmas dinner. It all plays out very well so far. You're saying the World War III is what you talked about? Or sending money and troops to Ukraine? Let me know. And actually, if there's anybody, Lars or anybody else, listening from overseas or Canada, because I know that toll-free numbers don't work in Canada either, try that 813 number through Google Voice. If you have a Google Voice, or if you have, what's the other thing? WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp because the only thing that I would use WhatsApp with is my personal phone. So I just use Google Voice. I set that up for like a celebrity line. That way somebody like Lars, Ken, other actual celebrities, sorry guys, who would want to reach me during the course of a show when phone lines eventually get busy, but they can still get through. That's how that happens. All right, so let's get started here. First up is morning motivation. I'm getting back to doing this. I really like this, actually. And a reason is, I got to change something here. Give me a second. The reason is, there's a certain portion of what we're doing where we try to have some positivity. I like myself a lecture, and the fact is, I'm well traveled, and I got to admit that. And that being said, there's nothing wrong with taking that and using it to teach, to inspire, not just bitch. Being with no one is better than being with the wrong one. Sometimes those who fly solo have the strongest wings. On Friday, T-Rump said that President Zelensky is gambling with millions of lives. You're hearing that from somebody who's never really led a country through a crisis. Because when COVID came in, he denied it. He called it a hoax. And after that, he really, that was our, I don't want to say that was our Holocaust, because it wasn't nearly as bad as the Holocaust, but that was our ethnic cleansing. That's what he did. He knew how bad it was going to be, because that was before Tony Fauci and company were villainized. That was back when they were still considered to be scientists. And that was back when they still had the respect of such by everyone. And that's who told him how bad this was going to be. I know, because in February of that year, I was in the Los Angeles field office receiving briefings from both FEMA, the CDC, and even the Los Angeles County version of the CDC. And what is common knowledge now was actually classified in February of 2020. And that is that if you walk into a room of about 10 people infected with the common cold, you might infect 3 or 4 of them. If you walk into that room with COVID, you will infect 6 to 8 of the 10 people. You will infect 6 to 8 of the 10 people. And it was from that minimizing the number of people for gatherings and maintaining a distance was developed in effort to not close the country and allow people some social lifestyle. Well, Trump botched that badly. Volodymyr Zelensky, on the other hand, has been at war for 3 years. And everybody says, well, that wouldn't have happened. Not everybody. Trumpers say that wouldn't have happened when Trump was in office. Again, indicative of people who know nothing about moving a military. You're not going to let that sit there for as long as you can and basically telegraph your movements. You're going to move them in when you're going to move it. And so that had to be developed. It was developed during the Trump administration. He had nothing to do with preventing it. And so as soon as it was moved, it was used. And it just so happened that Biden was the president in power at the time, in office. I don't like to say in power, in office at the time. So people are saying that Volodymyr Zelensky isn't great. Well, again, maggots are saying that Volodymyr Zelensky isn't grateful. Meanwhile, in one speech, he's thanked the U.S. people and the U.S. government 22 times. That sounds pretty grateful, pretty thankful to me. Maybe not somebody who's used to having somebody grovel at their feet like Donald Trump. J.D. Vance is not used to that. He's used to getting those people to grovel at Donald Trump's feet. As Trump's bitch, that's what he does. It's not what a vice president does, but J.D. Vance ain't a real vice president. So, well, the U.S. is not part of the EU. The U.S. is part of NATO. And in the first term, Trump tried to pull NATO, or Trump pulled the U.S. away from NATO as much as possible. In portions of that, he did not have the Republican domination of Congress, which he's about to lose. If not in these special elections that are happening right now, then definitely my prediction in the midterm election. But yeah, he's isolationist, which is ridiculous in this day and age of technology. He's doing this whole America First thing because it, again, is towards my argument for his fascist ideologies, authoritarian ideologies, and why I don't sugarcoat. I believe his administration is the Fourth Reich. That's what he wants. I just watched the portions today of Felon Musk on Joe Rogan. And now all of a sudden, Joe Rogan's buddy with Felon Musk again, after having isolated himself away from T-Rump. Now he's buddy with Felon Musk because I guess he needs actual celebrities to come on his show instead of people who nobody really knows, which is who's there most of the time. And they were talking about the my heart goes out to you bullshit. Salute. It was a Roman salute. It was a Nazi salute. I would have more respect for each of them if they just said, yeah, I'm from South Africa. I have a background of being for apartheid and being for the separation of races. It's all I know. And I'm not strong enough as a person to separate myself from what I know and from what morally might be right. So I continue being a racist, fascist, anti-Semite bitch. I would have a lot more respect for Elon Musk if he would say something like that, because it's a little intelligent. Intelligent in that he's honest. I got to take a quick break. We'll get much more into this right after this when we get back. You're listening and or watching to Up the Middle. It's me solo today, like I am every Tuesday. Politics for the Rest of Us by Yergs, the voice that sounds like yours. We'll be back after this. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum. Rumble. We're talking about freedom of speech and being fair and balanced. We're on Rumble. We're on Truth Social. I don't get a lot from it. but I make sure the show is there. I make sure that people on the right have access to what we're saying because I want them to be part of the conversation. Be part of the conversation by going to rumble.com/register/Yergs Media. Remember, this is before Mastiff Media came along, so it's Yergs Media. I wanted to get away from that. I did get away from that, but it's too late to change it at Rumble. So go to rumble.com/register/Yergs Media. Sign up for your Rumble account so you can be fair and balanced as well. Getting back to it, are we Russia's bitch? And flying solo, having the strongest wings. I think Vladimir, we've all had, I'm sure, some experiences in life where we felt alone, like we're doing this by ourselves. And I think Volodymyr Zelensky is clearly having one of those moments. And he should know there's plenty of us that are with him. Ken says, there's this fly here. Oh, this is so annoying. Ken says they, Trump, VP Musk, etc., fashion themselves kings. Yeah, that was not okay the other week when he said, long live the king. In fact, I got to put that up. The one background that we use, let me try to get that. The one background that we use has this. I got to take that off for a minute. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know if you saw it. The hashtag on the screen says "Take Back the Flag." I've used another one recently, and I'm going to go back to using that for this, for purposes of this. Long live the Republic, not the king. But they fancy themselves kings, but act more like bad-built bitches queens. Yeah, that's well said. I stuttered through it because I was just going to stop at bitches. But, that's a gay joke. Well said, Ken. Nicely done. So are we Russia's bitch? Let me get out of that. And there we go. We went through this yesterday, and I didn't get through the whole thing. So I'll go through the first 6 quickly. This is what Trump is doing. 1, he's dividing society. 2, weakening education. 3, damaging public health. 4, if you hear chewing in the background, I've got a puppy. She's busy. 4, breaking community bonds. Look at how divided we are. If we weren't so divided, I wouldn't be talking about the fact that we are in the middle of a modern day technological civil war. That's where we're at. It's what's happening. Control the narrative. You know that whole we support free speech bullshit that Musk and Trump has been saying? That's not true. If it was true, Musk wouldn't be suing a TV show like The View. He wouldn't care. Slander me, libel me. I don't care. I will be stronger than you, and I will get out the truth. And you'll look even worse than any lawsuit will ever make you. But Musk ain't that strong. That's why he doesn't fly alone. Undermine economic stability. I mean, tariffs, increasing inflation. What do you call that? And I would very much, and I'll be respectful if they call in, I would very much love to hear some MAGA tell me how none of this is happening. Hopefully, Philip Blackett has been sick for the past couple of weeks, so we've not had Translating Trump on Wednesdays. Hopefully, he'll be back tomorrow. So we'll be posing these 8 items to him tomorrow to see how we go. So into number 7, erode morale and cultural values. Push a culture of instant gratification. What did we show? I think we actually talked about this one briefly. Phones. push a culture of instant gratification, nihilism, and a rejection of tradition. I don't know, like diplomacy in the Oval Office instead of authoritarian bully, for example, making it harder for people to find purpose and unity. Oh, this fly's pissing me off. I feel like Mike Pence in that one debate that where it was curling in his hair. What was the what was one of the Facebook memes I saw was Ronald Reagan, the late president Ronald Reagan, staunch Republican, lifelong Republican, with a pissed off look on his face. And the caption read, Republicans siding with Russia, question mark. What the actual F bleep 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 bleep, question mark, exclamation point. Exactly. These people call themselves Republicans. These people say this is Republican ideology. And the other Republicans are the rhinos. Rhino, again, stands for RINO, stands for Republican in name only. They're the rhinos, not the MAGAs. Yet they're not fiscally responsible with unexplainable tariffs for good measure. They're not pro independence. I mean, the Reagan administration was known as the world's police force because of our fight for independence. And maybe on some level that was too much. But it's not what we wanted to do. So it had to be done. And T-Rump and Vance are afraid of that. They can't handle that. I mean, the entire current, the MAGA Republican Party is that way. So, I mean, think about today's question. Are we Russia's bitch? When number 8 says, weaken national security. What is the next story that we're going to talk about? What is the next story that we're actually very late for? But let's bring that in. Create internal strife, defund essential protections like, I don't know, USAID and the technological spies at the Defense Department. Is this not playing out any more accurately than I told you it was going to? Diminish military hello. Let me read that without stuttering. Let me read that without being pissed off. Diminish military readiness to make the country more vulnerable to external threats. What else do you need? What do you call Donald Trump? Forget about 1987. He is a Russian agent now. And so is everybody that works for him. We're going to hear how our own Secretary of State was saying how we need to watch Russia. And now how he's saying Russia's not the threat. This isn't Russia's fault. Somebody's giving him a paycheck. It's not the U.S. government or the Constitution. I got to set up the next story because I didn't get a chance to get all these tabs set up. But, I mean, let me know in the chat. Let me know on, what was that, Google Voice. Tell me how we're not Russia's bitch. Tell me how I'm wrong. I wish it wouldn't. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. It always goes to me being the big on the screen, if you see that. Trump's Defense Secretary Hegseth orders Cyber Command to stand down on all Russia operations. Russia is not a significant cyber threat to the U.S. anymore, Trump's new Secretary of Defense says. And he gets this where? And he's become an authority on this. How? Fox News? That's all he's got. His time in the military is at no command level. His time in the military is not long enough to have any solid knowledge about Russia the way the people who are there that he's telling to stand down do. And this is always the thing with cabinets. Do you put somebody in there who's going to listen to the career experts who are, by the way, are being fired still, even after courts told them not to? Or do you put a yes man puppet like the guy wearing that disgusting suit with a baseball hat that you see in the photo? Because that's trendy, I guess. Or maybe it's because Elon Musk does it, so I guess I should do it too. That's one of the things that made me crazy when I was in the Secret Service was this boss would sport this hairstyle. So literally the next day, all the sheep ass kissers would come in with that hairstyle. I remember one of the bosses, the special agent in charge a few years back, good dude. I'm not faulting him for this. But a guy named Vic Aravia had a mustache and goatee. You know, the hair just around the mouth, not the full beard. Although that was legal, it was frowned upon, but it was legal. And it might not have been okay on the details. But he comes in with, you know, I forget what it was called. There was another not so nice name for it, but the around the mouth facial hair. Everybody after that is growing the goatee and mustache. Another guy, Rob Buster, was bald. And it's just because Rob Buster was bald. Now you get all these other ass-kissing sheep shaving their head to be like Rob Buster. Like, really? Could you make it any more obvious and pathetic? So I started growing my hair out towards the end of my career. And my very last protection assignment was at a vehicle checkpoint at the residence of then Vice President Kamala Harris in the Brentwood neighborhood of the city of Los Angeles. Brentwood sounds familiar. It had also been the neighborhood home to the late O.J. Simpson, to include his late ex-wife and her late friend, Ronald Goldman. I tell you all that because, as I said, I'd been growing my hair out. Crack my back. I had been growing my hair out because I'm retiring and I'm not going to care how long my hair is. I mean, for those of you on video, I can turn around as much as possible. You can see it's halfway down my back. I'm sporting the Howard Stern look. Well, it was getting to a length where I felt it was unsafe. So instead of cutting it a few mere months before leaving, I did what any of the female agents did, and I pulled it back into a ponytail. That was not a popular decision. I digress. So, Cyber Command standing down on all Russian operations. It appears that the U.S. no longer considers Russia a significant cyber threat. You know, the people who helped influence the 2016 election tried it again in 2020 and succeeded again in 2024. I don't know. Maybe we should still be looking into them. According to multiple new reports on a drastic policy reversal that has taken hold under the new Trump administration. The cybersecurity outlet, The Record, originally reported that under Trump's new Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, U.S. Cyber Command has been ordered to stand down from all planning against Russia, including offensive digital actions. Remember number 8? Weaken our own defenses. There it is. Don't take my word for it. Look up The Record. Cybersecurity outlet, The Record. Look it up. Let's do that. Let's not trust Gizmodo. I don't even know what the hell that is. I get dyslexic in typing. TheRecord.media. Okay. U.S. Defense Department. Focus on Elon Musk's algorithms, not his words, says France's disinformation agency. Couldn't agree more there. Oh, look at this. Dated yesterday. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency says it will continue to monitor Russian cyber threats. Somebody's stepping up. Oh, let's just switch right to that story. Wow. Okay, that's a big logo. CISA, I never even heard of this one. This is awesome. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency says it will continue to monitor Russian cyber threats. The CISA agency refuted reports that changes are being made to how it approaches cyber threats from Russia. The Guardian newspaper wrote Friday that analysts at CISA were verbally informed that they were not to follow or report on Russian threats, according to an anonymous source, and that work being done on one Russian-related project was, in effect, nixed. CISA's mission is to defend against all cyber threats to U.S. critical infrastructure, including from Russia, CISA said on Sunday. That was the second. There has been no change in our posture. Any reporting to the contrary is fake and undermines our national security. There you go. All right, good. Oh, thank God. I couldn't be happier to be wrong. In addition to the anonymous source, The Guardian cited a new priority memo that did not mention Russian cyber threats. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin told Recorded Future News that the memo referenced by The Guardian is not from the Trump administration, which is quite inconvenient to The Guardian's preferred narrative. Good. Okay. To be clear about all of that, The Guardian is a much slightly farther left media outlet. I mean, they're kind of like a left Fox. This fly is so pissing me off. You know what's going to happen as soon as the show ends? The fly's going to go away. I'm still going to be sitting here working. Fly's going to go away. The story emerged on Friday, around the same time as an exclusive report from the Recorded Future News that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered the U.S. Cyber Command to stand down from all planning against Russia, including offensive digital actions. That order did not extend to the National Security Agency and is reportedly temporary, though the exact duration of the order is unknown. In follow-up reporting, the Washington Post and New York Times said the order was apparently an effort to bring Russia to the negotiating table as President Donald Trump seeks to end the war in Ukraine. The story about the Defense Department order came after Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had a public argument about the war in the Oval Office. The Washington Post reported that, quote, a private sector consultant familiar with the matter told them that CISA, end quote, told them that CISA had moved some cyber threat experts onto other adversaries besides Russia, reflecting a potential shift in priorities. Trump officials have advocated for military action against Mexican cartel figures and infrastructures to stem the flow of drugs across the border, Recorded Future News reported. Both The Guardian and Washington Post bolstered the claims about CISA by saying a recent speech on critical infrastructure cyber threats by a senior State Department official did not mention Russia. Some of the cybersecurity community raised concern that the Guardian article was being conflated by the public with the Defense Department order. In addition to a near constant stream of ransomware attacks on local U.S. government bodies, often claimed by cybercriminal gangs known to be based in Russia, several of the most high-profile attacks on the federal government have been attributed to Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, the SVR, and the country's GRU, Military Intelligence Service. There was significant backlash over the weekend from U.S. lawmakers, with members of Congress from both parties criticizing any potential change in the country's cyber posture with respect to Russian cyber attacks. Senior Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, released a statement on Sunday accusing the Trump administration of giving Russian President Vladimir Putin a free pass as Russia continues to launch cyber operations and ransomware attacks against critical American infrastructure, threatening our economic and national security. It is a critical strategic mistake for Donald Trump to unilaterally disarm against Putin. Schumer said, the best defense is always a strong offense, and that's true for cybersecurity, too. That article updated by Jonathan Grieg, breaking news reporter at Recorded Future News. So, yeah, good information. I'm so glad to be reading that to you today. And like I said, I love being wrong about stuff like that. So key. We'll add that to the show notes. If you want to get those show notes, remember you can get them right now. You need to message me, news, NEWZ, at Yergz, YERGZ.com. I'll put that up on the screen. There we go. If you want that and any of my other show notes for any episode, including today, any other day, whenever. I need to check some other things too. Just give me a second here. Yeah, I checked back with Instagram to see, because it actually tells you when somebody logs in to see the video. But they don't stay too long. Yeah, that fly is annoying me, is what it's doing. Ken says that fly is speaking on the mic. Yeah, he was actually on the mic for a while. Thanks for noticing, Ken. That doesn't change, and this isn't me being just anti-Trump. This is me being skeptical about the administration. That doesn't change my attitude towards Trump. And I think that's for obvious reasons. This isn't the only thing he's done. I mean, look at Friday. Do you think that was a setup? Do you think he and Vance had that planned with regards to starting that fight with Volodymyr Zelensky? I think it was that pathetic. That's how obvious that was their effort. I don't think Zelensky was in on it. I don't think it was that staged. But I do think that they had that plan from that moment. We are wrapping up soon. Going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up and see what remaining comments we got. And then Yeah, and you can hear my dad in the background. I got to help there and get some stuff done in the house. We made a lot of progress in the first week that he and mom are here. So really happy and appreciative of that. You're listening to Up the Middle, Politics for the Rest of Us by Yergs, a voice that sounds like yours. We'll be back after this. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum. There we go. I like that. I think I'm going to play this music instrument. I like the chill. Some of the others didn't actually work, but that's okay. I like chill. An ex-boyfriend of mine introduced me to that type of music when we both had Sirius XM. There's a channel in there called Chill, and it's music exactly like this. I love it. Chase, let's talk about Chase quick. Chase Bank. Sign up for Chase Checking and go to, I'll put it on the screen again, my profile page, not my account, but my profile page, it's Ross Yergs Yerger. You see it right there on the screen, Ross Yergs Yerger, that page. And you can get all the affiliates that are listed to include Chase Bank for $300. You can get back when you open up a Chase Checking account. For those who qualify, when you open up Chase Checking, get that $300. Go to Ross Yergs Yerger on Facebook and get that really long-ass link. Also, check out DNR Studios. Later this month, we start with Derek and Romaine on DNR Studios. Check it out at dnrstudios.com. They've got plenty of other programming there in addition to us. Of course, it's not just us. In fact, what is just us? We will be the only political show on the DNR Studios network. Really excited for that. All right, wrapping up today. One more look at the comments. Yes, as always, thank you, Ken. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. I think it was Acme back when I was a kid who had commercials that said tell a friend. And that was part of their advertising campaign. Tell a friend every weekday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, midnight. Is it midnight? Let's go to our clock thing. Let's see. 11 a.m. Eastern. It is 3 a.m. in Sydney and Melbourne, 12 midnight in Perth, 1700 in Berlin, 4 p.m. London, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. Log in wherever you got to log in. Go to mastiff.media for more information on where exactly you can find us. Where's that at? Jesus, where's my stuff? Where is... Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Thanks for that, Ken. But also, there it is. God damn. Yergs.com and mastiff.media for show notes and other info. In about an hour from now, check back in on YouTube at Para or Normal Guys, or on radiox.com.au or Yergs Radio for Sportcats Daily Gazette. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they follow right after us, but on Tuesday and Thursday, we're only an hour show, so there's a little bit of a break in between the two. And that is, like I said, another hour from now. Let's see, what is it? That would be at 4 a.m. Yeah, 4 a.m. in Sydney, in Melbourne. No, actually, sorry. It would be 5 a.m. 5 a.m. in Sydney and Melbourne, 2 a.m. in Perth, 1900 in Berlin, 6 p.m. London, 1 p.m. here, and 10 a.m. Pacific. Wow, that was painful. There's all kinds of things happening in the neighborhood. The guy across the canal from me is working his boat lift. Yeah. Blake can be reached, Blake at thehomelessconservative.com. He releases 1 to 2 videos a week on thehomelessconservative.com. Matt is the host of the Daily Crypto News. That's coming back to your radio news. You can reach Matt at dailycryptonews.net. And for the Daily Crypto News, go to dailycryptonews.net. Philip Blackett can be reached on all of his socials. Philip with 1 L, Blackett with 2 T's, at Philip Blackett. All his socials. Jane, we support Boyertown Area Expression. Go to boyertownareaexpression.town.news. For either of us, that's our hometown newspaper. She can also be reached at studiobbb.org. And like Ken said, make sure to like, subscribe, share. And that's it, gang. We will see you tomorrow for Translating Trump. Same time, same channel. Thanks for getting off the porch, running with the big dogs. For Up the Middle, Politics for the Rest of Us by Yergs. That's me. A voice that sounds like yours. See you tomorrow.